We all want to be influential and a source of inspiration to the people around us. Especially as men, that is the thing that gets our heart on fire. It's why when you hear people talk about purpose, they think of it as the actual thing they're doing versus the feeling that is associated with what you do. You know, we want to be leaders, but it's not about just being the guy. It's about doing the things that you kind of have to do on a regular basis, but it's not as hard as you think it is. And that's why anybody can build a presence that people can feel. It's why you have the ability today, legitimately today, to become that guy that influences and is more of a positive inspiration to your boys or to your family. All of it. All of those things you care about having deep down can be solved by just doing simple things. In this video today, I'm going to share exactly how you can do that for yourself. That way you're at least getting the ball rolling in the right direction, because from there, trust me, the instincts start taking over and life starts getting so much fun. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yo boys, and we're back at it again with another video. I'm about to have me a feast. You want to know why? Because I just crushed shoulders actually. Uncle Ron's been lifting, bro. Uncle Ron's, damn it, dude, the lighting ain't even that good. All right, if I come all the way back here, how's that lighting? Hopefully halfway decent, but regardless, I've been on my shit. I feel like I'm back into rhythm and I'm feeling real good. And I figured while I make this dinner, it's a perfect idea into what I want to explain to you today. And we're here to build the type of presence and to become more influential to those around us. You know, how do we actually implement influence to our surroundings, to our environment? I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. Boys, you have no idea how much I love food. Food is just the greatest thing. It's the only thing that puts a smile on my face besides doing nice things for people. But I don't even count that because technically that's like external. I'm talking about the selfish, what makes me selfishly happy that has nothing to do with anybody else, eating. I'm such a fat ass, I made chips and regular potatoes. Hear that crunch? Come on now. But having a presence that people can feel, you want to know what it is? And you guys know this if you've been here before, it's your heart. It's about what you do when nobody's looking. That is what differentiates the people that you look at. By the time they're in public, you're like, there is something different about this guy. It's because whether you were there or not, he would still be doing the same exact thing every single day. Do you see the foods I'm eating? Of course, no one's around. I'm in good shape right now. I could easily have bad food. You want to know why I don't want to? Because I myself don't want it. When you live life beating to your own drum, you stop looking at it from other people's perspectives. A lot of you guys talk about women and how I lower my gaze for women, or, you know, women have a big power over me in my life. Let me tell you something. The reason why that's the case is because you're living life in third person. This is the biggest issue I see amongst every man. Every dude, and not every single one, I'm being facetious, but point is 99.9% of dudes are out here living in third person. They're not even living in their own bodies. They're not thinking, when they're in a conversation, they're looking at themselves from the external. You're talking to a hot chick, you're thinking the whole time, how do I look? You're literally entering out of your body to stare at yourself. That is the opposite of what you need to be doing. You need to be living life in first person. You want to know why? When you live life in first person, you're not thinking. You know, I talk a lot about aura on this channel and charisma because these are things that dudes love the idea of. And I remember for me, especially before I started this YouTube channel, you know, I started thinking in my head, like, you know, where was I 10 years ago? And what were the things that were super important? And what's super important up until recently? And for me, like, it was almost like character points. You know, I want this character to go up and I want to be like this. Okay, I need to bring up my humor a little bit. And it's not a bad way of thinking of it when you're getting started because you're learning. You have to give yourself a lot of rope. Like, you ain't going to figure it out the gate. And even if you do, I promise you, the people that get it figured out the gate, they're not the same as the guy who had to bleed for it. They're just not. You look at them, it's different. The way that they're able to just work a room, the way that they're able to get everything that they want, and it looks easy. man, I mean, there's nothing like it. It's because you're tough to kill. You know that. You look back on tape and you're like, dude, I never gave up. Those things allow you to have a real love for life, which is why you want to live in first person. I love my life so much. I'm so appreciative of the fact that I'm still here. That what? Of course I'm going to live in first person. I only want to live in this body. That's why when I'm at the house by myself, right? A lot of you guys ask me, Ram, are you living by yourself? Yeah, absolutely, I'm living by myself. You know, whoever would be here with me, I'd feel absolutely awful for. I'm an absolute madman. But it's just because I'd operate like that regardless. Even if there are people around or not people around, the difference is obviously I'm a kind man, I'm respectful, I'm a gentleman. Speaking of, did not tuck in after I was showing off, my muscles and stuff. That's just unacceptable. At the dinner table, you better tuck your shit in, tucked in, gentlemen, just to make sure. You guys got to keep me honest too, I'm not out here getting mad if you guys are asking, hey, where's the tuck in? Good. I should be on my shit. But this is the reason why I operate the way I do. I operate in first person. The things that I eat, for example, this is a very clean meal. I have chicken, fish, potatoes, veggies, onions, stuff like that. And I could easily eat bad, right? I could easily eat bad, but it's because of those things that I'm not willing to look at myself differently as a result. Of course, if I wanted a burger, I'd have a burger, but it's because I want the burger. Some people, for example, it's almost like gym class where you'll do the push-ups if the teacher's looking at you, but as soon as the teacher doesn't look at you, you stop doing them. Or if your boss goes with you at work and he's looking at you, you're looking like you're working harder than you actually are. But when he doesn't look away, forget it, because I don't matter. Why would my own respect matter? Why would I need to show up for myself? I'm good, I'm happy, I'm comfortable. This is the difference between a presence that is felt, and that's the difference between being influential. I'm going to do those things, and I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, even with all the jobs that I've ever had in my life. An abundant, just a ridiculous list of jobs, right? I worked hard not because I gave a shit what my boss thought. It's because I gave a shit about what I thought. I would have to have a less opinion of myself to not work as hard as I know I'm capable of working. Isn't that crazy? Your boss tells you if you're not here at work at 8 o'clock, that's going to be a bad marker. I don't know how they operate that, to be honest. But you're going to get a bad mark, a detention, whatever. Could you imagine if you did that for yourself and cared as much as when your boss tells you to do something, when you say something, how serious you take it? Imagine that. Imagine giving a shit about yourself, just 50% of what you give a shit about what your boss thinks, your teacher thinks. Someone that you look at and you constantly put people above you. That's what you're doing. I came to this realization in my head. I'm like, why is it when someone tells me to do something, I feel like I have to do it, like my life's on the line, but when it's just me, I don't give a shit. You're giving everything to everybody else in the name of what? You should, and you guys know this about me. If you're new here, I give everything I got for everybody else. That's my entire life. My entire life I think of and everybody else. Still from first person, for everyone else, because I give a shit so much. But why, for some reason, why is it that, you can't show up for yourself? And you wonder why you don't have a presence or have an ability to influence people or be a source of inspiration. Because it's about what you do in the dark. These people you look up to, Kobe, Jordan, you see how old I am? It doesn't matter who you're looking up to. It could be sports, it could be businessmen, it could be artists, it could be painters. It does not matter. I do not care what it is. Musicians, it's because what they do when nobody is looking. And it's not like they're sitting there being like, no one's looking, so I got to show up. They're just so in their life. They're living in so right now. This is what presence is all about. It's understanding that tomorrow is not guaranteed. I nearly got into a very fatal accident when in my younger years. I'll have a whole video about a car accident that changed my life. The point is, I should have died in that car accident. And it's funny, I notice there's a bunch of people that have that same outlook on life in terms of the appreciation and how they don't take everything so seriously. They all had near-death experiences. And it's because you realize at that point, you're like, dude, this shit ain't guaranteed. Why am I worried about tomorrow? All I can do is right now. All I can have is right now. That's why my presence, some people look at as influential or a source of inspiration. I love what you do. It's because I operate like this is the last day on earth, and I just want to make sure I'm giving everything I can. I'm so appreciative of where I'm at right now. I'm so appreciative of every freaking bite I get to have in this meal. Is there times where it's like, this sucks? Dude, all the time. But at least I'm here. At least I know everything that I do in my head are things that fill my heart. And it's sometimes making those tough decisions where it's like, this thing does not fill up my heart, and I'm trusting my subconscious mind to tell me that that ain't for me. That sometimes means you don't start talking to the people that you feel worse after talking to them. That means the job that you have, if you know in your head, I'm becoming a watered down version of myself and I barely recognize who I am, it requires you making that tough decision of being like, I'm out. I've done all of those things. And you want to know something? I can never look back. I will literally never look back on that part of my life. And to this day, it still pains me that I wasted so much damn time. Because I could have been appreciating life the way I am right now way back then. I was the same kid. I had the same makeup that you have right now. I know that for a fact. But it's the lack of bravery. It's too hard. It's too uncomfortable. The tension is too much, and I can't fucking handle it. I can't handle it. That's why most people bow out. It's not about the things like, how are you doing that every single day? It's because I only do things that fill up my heart. I'm leaning into myself. Whatever positives I have about me, my problem is, and most people be like, bro, you just care too much. That was something I was told so much in my life. Why do you care that much, bro? This is who I am. I give a shit so much. I care so much more than anybody I know. And that thing that I tried to eradicate within myself, because I was so worried about what everybody else thought or how I'd be judged or how I'd be perceived, stunted the growth that was inevitable. This is why I'm after being undeniable, because at a certain point you realize I'm going to take all of my flaws, all of the weaknesses that people look at and people try to put me down for, and I'm actually going to make it into the thing that makes me love me most. I'm not into the self-love thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think it's a hoax. I think traditional self-improvement is bullshit. I think it makes you attach yourself to a productivity hacking machine, right? You're just basically productivity hacking productivity hacks. Everyone's just trying to wiggle their way around the thing that's hard to do. But those are the things that give you conviction. Why do you think things that are rare have value? Because rarity is difficult to come by. It's not something that comes around very often. And if you just learn to lean into yourself, you're not going to figure it out the first step. I didn't. It took me till way too long, and I'm still not even coming through the camera the way I would in real life, because it takes time. These things take time, they take energy, but at least the ball's going in that direction. You can't control the speed. The only thing you can control is your effort and the intensity you deliver on every single day and every moment that you have. It's no different than the gym. It's no different than business. It's no different than your life. All the exact same. If you want to have it happen quicker, then you have to move more intensely and a bit more quickly. You get what I mean? Like in the moment, like you have to make sure you're intensely looking at everything. You know, I care so much. You know what's funny? You know the thing that moved me most in my life? It wasn't good feelings. It was the opposite. It was some of the darkest feelings I've ever felt in my life. It was the point where I looked at my life and I just said, is this actually what you want? Is this good enough for you? Is this what you had like envisioned for your life? Like would the young version of you be happy about where you're at? I don't really even do that either. But my point is like I'll look at myself in the moment. I'll say like, am I doing what I need to do? And there's a one point in my life where I looked up and I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be my life in 10 years. When you have this level of appreciation, how easy is it to have a presence? How easy is it to be influential, to be a positive source of inspiration that we all want to be? How easy is it to have purpose? Purpose isn't in basketball's my purpose. Working out is my purpose. I used to think of it that way. Okay, maybe arts or whatever. It's the thing that allows your heart to bleed through. Whatever that vehicle is, it does not matter. That could be through the most boring thing on earth. But if that thing is giving you what you want on a personal level, it's sharpening you up in the ways that you care to be sharpened, it doesn't matter. It's why the guy who probably has a concrete company, right, who might be worth billions of dollars, it's not that he's passionate or his purpose is concrete. It's because he was in a vehicle where his mind sharpened in areas that he only wanted more. It's all an emotional game. People telling you to blunt your emotions are the dumbest people. And it's just an easy way of being like, be a man, don't be emotional. It's the opposite. It's about learning how to weaponize that emotion. When you have emotion inside of you, people can feel it. It's your job to learn how to aim that properly, not whine like a girl, not cry, I wish it was like this, I wish it was like that, and basically go into victimhood mentality, but rather learning how to weaponize it. How do I find something that just opens up my heart? My story doesn't make sense how I got here doing content. It makes no sense if you saw the whole story. Deep down, I'll be honest with you, I always knew I'd probably be best at doing this, but it was because of my fear of judgment for other people. I'm living life in third person, coming back to it. Like, when you live life in first person, you recognize that tomorrow ain't guaranteed. You start playing the game with nothing to lose. And the man with nothing to lose is the most dangerous guy in any room. Always. And it's about keeping that. It's a lot more difficult as you start moving up in the game. Story for another day, but my point is, if you can keep that feeling, you have nothing to lose behind the camera. I guarantee it. You have nothing to lose. You think you have something to lose, but you have nothing to lose. You ain't gonna die. The only thing you're terrified of is, who do I become after this? What does my life look like after this? What if it's worse? It'll never be worse. If you're leading with this and with ridiculous, beautiful intention in your head, like, this is what I want out of my life, and man, I know I could be more influential if I went down this path. Anybody can be influential. It has nothing to do with being, a billionaire. Obviously, those guys are very influential. Let's not lie to ourselves. But you get what I'm trying to say. I'm poking fun at it, but it's the same exact idea. You just have to give yourself the permission to understand you ain't gonna get it right. You might look like an idiot. But it's those type of guys that don't give a shit how they look that end up on top. They're the ones that have that magnetic feeling and that presence that everyone can feel because they're living life in the first person versus constantly analyzing their own behavior from an external place outside of their own body. I am telling you this right now, you are more than capable. But it doesn't matter if I say that or believe it. I believe it maybe more than you, and that's the problem. You have to believe you can be influential. You can have a legitimate impact on your environment. I promise you, just start understanding that tomorrow ain't guaranteed. Every single day you wake up, and you do have to make the choice, but it's a choice you get to make, and you get to make it for yourself. And what you do in the dark, regardless if people are around or not, those are the people precisely that live the best lives, that make it to the highest echelons of life, because they don't give a shit whether everyone's looking at them or not. By the time they have a crowd, they're already doing it when nobody was there. That's the difference. And I'm telling you, you can do the same exact thing for your life. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. And honestly, I didn't even get to eat. I'm done doing these videos. And it's because food is cold. Hey, we're still appreciative though. Protein, baby. I wasn't even planning on making an intense video, but you see it. This is who I am. I don't hide it. I don't try to shy away from it. Whatever I feel in my head, I just learn I care too much. I give a shit a lot, but that's also why I've been able to do in terms of what I've done with like fitness and health there, even with the pages that I have, very quickly. I had to learn a lot of these things the hard way, especially with me reaching my natural limit in my life. I haven't even reached there in my opinion, but I'm getting close. And that's taught me so much about handling discouragement and understanding I don't have to work out all the time or be on a schedule. No one knows the amount of people that would tell me, hey man, take a break. Take a break, dude. Hey, you don't have to go. Why are you going today? It's because I want to go today. I know I feel better doing this thing, and I know it takes me closer to that thing. It's what I'm willing to do in the dark when everyone is even telling me don't do it. What do you think that's going to do for my conviction, my confidence, my swagger, my aura, all of it? Skyrockets. It's being willing to die on your own sword. But anyways, if there's anything you guys want specifically, you guys know the deal. You drop it down in the comments, and if people like those comments, give those a thumbs up, and then I don't make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love you very much. Uncle Rami out. Oh, from Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders, I love you guys very much. Uncle Rami out. Peace. Now I get to eat. I mean, my God, I am starving. Bro, low key, you know, people be saying like, Rami, you can cook. And I'm like, I don't cook, bro. I just basically cut shit up and put it on fire with some seasonings. But point is, when it goes down, kind of special. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not here to pat myself on the back maybe 4 times, but unreal. Absolutely unreal.